So we're going to learn to play Waltz Mystique by Ray Moore. It's a lovely piece. It's that sort of what I call sort of a Parisian waltz thing. So obviously it's a waltz because it's 3 beats in a bar, but the feel of it is that sort of slightly sad, slightly melancholic piece of music that you tend to associate with Paris in the turn of the 20th century. Anyway, so there's a little intro first on it, a little 4-bar intro. I should mention the piece is in E minor, which hopefully should be a nice easy key. So remember, E minor has the same key signature as G major. So G major has just the F sharp in it, and indeed you may well find this piece goes into G major, as is often the way in pieces in E minor. So that would be G major. So E natural minor would be this. And you might see the harmonic minor version of the scale cropping up with the added raised 7th, or you might see the melodic one cropping up with the raised 6th and 7th, and neither of them on the way down. All of those things are possible because at the end of the day it's a piece of music and composers can do what they like. So although they said it's in E minor, doesn't mean it's going to totally conform to that throughout. But anyway, so that's what it's all going to be based around. So I think first of all, let's have a little look at this introduction, which goes like this. Now, just looking at the various ways we can play that. I wasn't playing that very well then. Did you notice I was having to slip my thumb? Which is not, what we want is staccato, legato. Now, so if I use different fingering now, 1 and 3 to 2 and 4. See what I mean? So what should I do? Sometimes we have to do things like that because we've got to carry on. But on this one, we don't need to do that. We can just go 1 and 3, 2 and 4. So that's the fingering we're going to use. So you go 1 and 3, 2 and 4. 1 and 3, 2 and 4 with an F sharp, and you repeat it. Okay, so that's the intro. So it's quiet. It's got staccato note on the beginning, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So that's pretty easy. So let's move on and have a little look at these next couple of lines. Bear in mind that repeat that's in there on line 3 we will do in the exam because it says so at the bottom of the page. Right, here's the melody. So there we go, it's all very E minorish, and notice we have that D sharp as well in there. So the first bit, you just use, now normally when we play an E minor scale, we spend a lot of time trying not to take our thumb onto the G. However, on this piece, they do want you to take your thumb on the G. You see it there? So that's fine. So you go 1, 2, 1. And then you do it again. Okay. Then change to an E minor chord shape, and it goes 5, 3, 1, then 4th finger, and at the end you want to cross down to the D sharp, so take 2, and then onto your 4, and then probably your 3rd onto that E. Okay, just show you again. Don't forget to come down the note at the end of the phrase. 2, 3, and it's... Now, it doesn't say legato, but I think it's kind of, I think you probably will need that. Not too sure about that one, so I think make it legato, okay, even though it's not there. Put a little emphasis. You see the accents there on bar 9? A little accent, a little accent. So you get this. Yeah. So that's our first bit. Right, let's look at the left hand. Right, the challenge here is a sustained note at the bottom. And you'll find yourself letting go, not getting that nice smooth phrase. So you start with E. and then add the rest of the chord. Then smoothly move to D sharp and then add in another 2 chords. Now you can release it all, new phrase, then a D on your 4th, then C sharp. So you may on first glance think, oh, this is quite an easy grade 4 piece. However, there are some little challenges in here, and that's one of them. And again, in the exam, if you answer some questions on the sort of thing examiners like to ask at grade 4, tell me which bit of the piece you found most challenging, and how you coped with it, or how you overcame it, whatever it was. So here would be, if you were talking about this piece, I might well pick on that, saying the little thing with the little descending bass line with the chords over it, trying to get that right with the mixture of the legato and the staccato. Get the idea. So how do you overcome it? Well, by playing it very slowly with attention to detail with the correct fingering, something like that. Now I find myself fumbling for that next bit. Just move your hand, you don't need to make that bit legato. So this is legato to there, but then just let go and reset. Now on the next section, you've got C, and it's held, but then then it's short, and then. So let's go over again. Now going back to bar 5, so we've got this E, so 4th finger there. That's all smooth. Then release, 4th on D, smoothly to the C sharp. Then release C, and then keep the C on. Release it, and then 4 crotchets, then staccato, and you do the repeat. Let's see how that feels with the melody over it. Release. Here it is again. Where the breaks come. Like here, release. Smooth. Then release. Release, separate. Now, bar 11, let's go to bar 11. Does this. Okay, and I'll stop there because that's the end of the section, the first note of bar 12. So, the second time bar is just this. Okay. So I think that's lots for our first video. So lots of work on that. Make sure you can play all the way up to bar 11 with the first time and second time repeat. Watch it's not too loud as well. I was probably a bit loud on that one because I was trying to be nice and definite about showing you the different things on that. But once you've got your hands around it, make sure it's nice and light. And again, looking for those elusive contrast between staccato and legato, sometimes with them going on at the same time. For instance, this. Although those chords aren't marked as staccato, the effect to them is going to be like that, isn't it? I suppose watch it's not the need to be that much, but it's detached. Or what do they? Lots of practice on those.